Hey guys, welcome back. This is learning how to W key number 3, where I show you my wins and losses in solo arena and break them down and tell you guys why they were wins or losses. I'm a Fortnite player with $5,000 earned in NA East. I've always been decent at game sense, communication as an IGL, and the macro game of Fortnite, but one of my weaknesses is my fighting, and I've always wanted to improve at it. This video is an opportunity for us to learn together, so let's get into it. So in this fight, an immediate simple fix that I see is that I need to get the wall on the right in the first full box attempt. That'll make sure I don't have to put my gun away to get it later. This sequence cannot be me getting half the box, shooting half of the HP of the stair, then going after the wall on the right, and then finishing the stair after. That's just sloppy sequencing and can be punished. Like, as you can see, in this clip, I get hit pretty hard because of this sequencing that I do. Next shot, even though it's awkward because of the stair that I'm standing on, I go for the right hand jump shot peek and end the fight. In the second fight, I noticed that the 2x1 that I built is getting compromised. The opponent took the roof floor on one of the boxes, so I stopped taking my big. But watching this clip back, I realized that I could have totally popped this big. It only had half a second left on it, right? I could have had 50 more HP for free just by having a little bit better awareness. Later on in the fight, I take advantage of the fact that I can reset walls instantly and close my own wall to catch the opponent's shot as he's peeking me. After I reset my wall and hold it and catch the enemy shot, I edit wide and go for a really hard pump shot in return because his shotgun is not ready. The enemy walks in front of my wall for some reason, I full box him and clean up the fight. Something you'll notice in the fight here is that I'm going up in a clockwise manner. This isn't good because if you'll notice, every time I see the enemy, the chances of it being a left-hand peek is much higher because of the fact that I'm going up to height clockwise. It would be much better if I went the other way, like this, to increase my chances of naturally finding right-hand peeks around builds. Either way, I single pickaxe his wall, pull out my gun, pickaxe his wall again, full box, and catch him out. I'm confident in full boxing here because I paid attention to what my opponent here is doing. I noticed him trying to run and felt safe to full box here because he is not ready to shoot me. I would not have went for this if he didn't try to run and rather tried to shoot me back, or if he's looking straight at me. It would be dangerous, right? Lesson here is to pay close attention to the enemy body language and make decisions based off of that. I start off on defense in this fight because I'm 150 HP and my enemy is 200 HP. But as the enemy approaches my box, I notice him running right up against my wall, which is a mistake on his end. Since I'm sitting in a 2x1 defensively, I'm able to hold this wall at it, run to the left to create an advantage, and start this fight off with 80 damage right away. The enemy for some reason tries to edit the roof and then reset it when I'm clearly looking at him. This is a very bad play on his end because while I have no gun swap delay, he has gun swap delay. This is an inherent advantage for me. After the enemy shot, I can safely full box him and go for another shot, which he does a very good job of blocking with his cone. It gets a little chaotic in this fight, but I read his movement and his intention as well. So the question I'm asking myself in my head, where does he want to go? And is he interested in shooting me right now? And from what I see, the answer is no, because he's very low HP and he's facing away from me. I notice this and then I piece control him safely and end the fight. Another fight where I'm on defense because my enemy has height. I see a good opportunity to get a right hand peek here and go for the edit. For some reason, my opponent handshakes this trade and loses it because I can see him first. And then I place a wall before he can see me at all. I notice my chance to pressure because I'm winning in HP. I ramp up to height in a counterclockwise manner so I can naturally get right hand peeks like I talked about before. And I quickly pressure my opponent by threatening to jump in his box. It's key that I do this as fast as possible after I win that first shotgun trade because then I'm going to be able to put my opponent on his toes and in panic mode. He's going to mess up a lot if I put all this pressure on him. I jump in his box and win the fight. In this fight, there's not too much to analyze, but I think the piece control is good, but I do not like the way that I edited the wall and ran into his box. It would be so much better after I placed the cone and then placed the wall that I edited some sort of peek from outside of his box to safely trade. If the enemy here has a gold pump, there's a pretty decent chance that I could have thrown this fight entirely. Something to keep in mind, peek from outside the box when you can. I actually make a huge mistake this fight, which is leaving a 1 HP wall next to you without holding it or feeling threatened. But something I could have done to fix the 1 HP wall instead of making another box is to just shoot it and break it and place another wall myself, right? Then it wouldn't be 1 HP. But either way, this mistake of leaving a 1 HP wall next to me caused this player to recognize this and take advantage of it and win this fight over me. In this next clip, I'm losing this off-spawn fight pretty hard on HP, but I take advantage of a jump shot peek to turn the tables and start winning this fight. It's important that I try to trade damage back while I'm trying to heal, because if I just keep playing defensively, the opponent will have free reign to just pressure me back. I need to find that unexpected window of time to get damage back on him, to stop him from pressuring me. My movement here is sloppy. I could have just broken the stair with my pickaxe pretty fast to continue chase, but regardless, I end the fight. I don't know what he's doing here actually. Like, he's just AFK, like, I don't know what's happening. I missed the first 2 shots, which is definitely fixable and actually really important, right? Aim training can fix this and make it consistent, but these are 2 opportunities where I could have just ended the fight right then and there. Either way, I get a right hand peek here. Just notice my movement, which maximizes my chances of not getting hit back at all. I hug the left wall and press my A key to move more to the left and try to jump shot peek him safely. Afterwards, I notice him not looking at me with his shotgun, so I handshake the 50-50 and win. I feel confident in this 50-50 partly because I know he doesn't have a purple or gold shotgun, something I heard earlier in the fight and kept in mind. In this next fight, I have height advantage, but I want to do damage to my opponent without dropping down. I want to keep height advantage. What's the best way to do this? Try this stare at it from above, which is a good piece control strategy to prevent any cones being placed from your enemy. And then they only have 1 build piece between you and themselves. Then I can take advantage of the fact that I have a P90, right? So I can move out to the left to get a little bit of a right hand peek on this wall that I'm standing on. I can get so much free damage just from constantly spraying at my opponent. The biggest thing to understand about Fortnite is that if you have a gun with a fast fire rate, you can actually bleed damage through turbo build, right? And this is what I'm doing here. If you watch pro players like Royale, this is something that they do often as well. They tend to get a ton of free damage just from constantly spraying at their enemies. The ending to this fight is a little bit sloppy for myself. I should have went on another wall instead of falling down into this hole where I have no escape options. I only have 1 shotgun shot here in this fight, but I have a P90 as well, right? So then my win condition this fight is to full box my opponent and hope to track him perfectly and force a 50-50. I do not want to play the peak game with a 1 shotgun shell. It's not a good idea in this case, right? Especially because it's attack as well. After winning this fight, I get third partied, and then I know my tac is not reloaded at all. It had 1 bullet. So I solved this problem by picking up the enemy pump of the person that I just killed. I code myself and go for a peek shot. I mess up mechanically because my mouse is not over my own wall when I try to scroll wheel reset here. This is actually easily fixed by getting in the habit of pressing my wall bind every single time I try to reset a wall. That way, if I miss my wall, it'll still reset. I've noticed really strong mechanical players like Kanata and CLIX do this a lot, where they press their wall bind before resetting so that they don't need to directly look at their wall to reset it. It's a good habit to get into and worth spending a little bit of time to practice that. Either way, I chase this guy, take his wall safely, and jump shot him to end the fight. Alright guys, that's the end of this episode of learning how to W key. If you guys learned anything new that you didn't know before, please consider subscribing and telling me in the comments what you learned. Little known fact, I read every single comment on YouTube. Because I'm a small YouTuber, it's pretty easy for me to do that, so I actually enjoy doing that. It's pretty fun. So leave a comment down below and tell me what you thought. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.